In this video, we're going to be discussing the two biggest short squeeze plays in the entire market. Both of these plays, FFIE and CRKN, have the most new watchers in the last 24 hours on StockTwits. Shorts should be, very worried going into next week. As you can see on StockTwits, as of right now, CRKN is actually rank 1, above FFIE in terms of new watchers in the last 24 hours. So basically all these FFIE apes and these CRKN fiends, these soldiers and warriors, are completely backing up these two plays. And as you can see on Reddit, we actually have an entire group behind FFIE. And guys, keep in mind, this one actually went from 4 cents all the way to $4 just recently within a week. I actually called this one at 6 cents and went all the way to $4. So, if you are enjoying this content, drop a quick like for me on this video, put notifications on because you do not want to miss these very time sensitive, crucial plays. I also called out CRKN, and this one went up 1,000% the same day. This one just recently had that big run with 2 billion plus volume, and this one is trending again, actually spiked up, 10% plus in after hours, currently trading at 11 cents and gaining some momentum going into Mondays. This one actually went from around 5 cents all the way to 60 cents and is back down to 11 cents. And as you can see on Reddit, guys, we have, this entire group behind FFIE, and this one has 52,000 members and growing very rapidly. And as you can see from this post right here, we even have FFIE brothers from overseas speaking in all kinds of different languages. So apparently this momentum is spreading worldwide, and this is a very big battle between retail investors against hedge funds. These short sellers are these, they're basically trying to drive the price down, and then we have retail trying to cause a massive gamma squeeze. With both of these plays, we have some very upcoming key catalysts and scenarios with both of these stocks we have to talk about, so you guys can know exactly what's going on and what their situation is. So make sure you watch this entire video so you do not miss out on this important information. So guys, basically what happened with Faraday Future, ticker FFIE, they were supposed to get delisted. They had multiple different reasons. They were late with their financials, the filings for that on the 10Q, and originally the company had a 180-day, plan or until June 25th to regain compliance with the Nasdaq. Multiple things happened, late filings with FFIE, and they were actually supposed to get delisted. They put their financials out, and they just had an 8K filing. So the company actually received a grant from Nasdaq for an extended stay of the suspension pending a hearing with Nasdaq hearings panels. Right now, they do have this grace period, which lifted their suspension on basically being delisted. And there are two scenarios that could happen. So basically, they might go ahead and conduct a reverse split, announce that, which could be negative. But also, if this does happen, we could still see, they do a reverse split. The float gets a lot smaller, which means this price can move a lot faster and easier because there's not as many shares. So basically that could be a play once this happens, but it could be negative. And if we do get a 180-day extension, could be very positive because obviously all these apes are going to try their hardest to push this over $1. And we originally had until the 25th, so we would basically have to get this up $1 organically, remain over $1, close over $1 for 10 consecutive days. But we had all of these suspensions and everything, these late filings, so we'll have to see what happens with their hearing and everything. But this one could still regain compliance organically, just depends on how this hearing goes. And one or two things are going to happen. We're either going to get compliance organically, and then a lot of things could happen with the hearing. But if they do get a 180-day extension, obviously gives them another 180 days. But, despite all these filings, they could go ahead and be forced to do a reverse split. So keep that in mind. But, this is a very big battle between retail and these short sellers. So either way, we could still see a big push if this community is strong enough to keep pushing this price up, even if they do have a reverse split. So that's a very key scenario with FFIE as of right now. Now, another stock we have to look at is CRKN. I do believe if we do break 13 cents, then we will test, just over 15 cents. We break over that and have a strong hold over that. We could easily push to 18 to 20 cents plus and see another big gap up. Now, this one did have some very strong momentum, up 10% on Friday, closing after hours up 10%. Really just depends. You really have to pay attention in pre-market and, as the market opens, is the volume there? Because keep in mind, the outstanding share count is over 400 million shares, I believe. But, we do have this highly backed by retail investors once again, just like FFIE. So we're looking for a 13 cent break and then a 15 cent break. And then this one could have a parabolic type run. It just depends if volume is there as well. So that's what I'm looking at here. Break over 13 cents, test 15 cents, break over that, break over, 20 cents. And then, I could see a strong gap up, because when you have tons, billions of volume come in, you can really gap up, like crazy. This one did run at 1,000% on the, just recently, with 2 billion or 2.1 billion in volume in one day. So this is one to see if the volume's there to push this one up. And guys, they did have some very big news recently come out, as they did announce this $12 million revenue producing project. So they actually have real revenue in a very big project with a very small market cap. Pleased to announce this was just on May 21st, just a week or two ago. They're pleased to announce a $12 million project, which represents a $12 million gross revenue opportunity and marks their first project as a turnkey general contractor. So this was generated through existing relationships, and this project is expected to start through mid-June, which is just in a week or two. Could see some very big updates, as this is a very big project with CRKN, Crown Electrokinetics Corporation. So guys, originally they lost compliance. A company basically loses compliance with the Nasdaq when the stock price, or one way they can lose it, the main way, is when the stock price goes under $1 and remains under $1 for 30 consecutive days, and then they have 180 days to basically push the price up organically. And they basically had, so on this 8K file right here, they had until April 16th 2024 to regain compliance. And basically, I did not see any extension news or anything when this was supposed to, the deadline was supposed to be on the 16th. Did not see any filing that shows they got an extension. Then on March 4th, the company received another letter back when this one, basically when they close below 10 cents for 10 consecutive trading days, they basically can get delisted from that too. Basically, they would get delisted unless the company request a hearing before the Nasdaq hearings panel. If you were actually listening to their earnings call back on May 17th, you would know that they initially had that 180 days, which has expired. And they, basically on the 17th, just recently, the 17th of May, they requested another 180-day extension, which they are awaiting approval from the Nasdaq. So that's another big catalyst if Nasdaq does give them another 180 days, because on the earnings call they say that's what they wanted to do. They requested another extension. So that's a big catalyst, if granted, would be huge and further cause a big, massive squeeze. This is, both of these plays are ones that I would not want to hold. Like all these people on Reddit, I would want to get in and out very quickly, as I already made a lot of money off both of these plays in the past. And with CRKN, going to see if it does, if the volume is there. I think that this one could easily break those levels, and I would want to get in and take profits very quickly. With all these plays, you want to take profits very quickly. Okay, so CRKN, FFIE are, crazily backed by retail. And if we do see that volume there, either way, even though, all these penny stocks are not long-term investments, they're momentum-based plays. And if the volume's there, could see some crazy moves, trapping short sellers. Just depends on a lot of things. If retail completely, gets a giant ape army and backs these play and the volume's there, there's no reason why these plays cannot have a giant gamma squeeze. So that's what we're looking at. These are the two, I'm gonna have other plays other than FFIE and CRKN coming up in my next video. And these will be very interesting to watch going into tomorrow and the rest of the week. Really just depends on the volume I'll be watching. And I really like to watch these plays in pre-market and see the volume there, because that basically shows what's going to happen, how volatile these are going to be and the potential for these to gap up, when the market opens, and, basically the entire day. So definitely watch both of these very closely. Like the video if you are enjoying, if you made it this far in the video, really appreciate you. If the volume is there and you think this one could, run 100% plus, basically what I would do, or how I play these breakouts, is I'll initially have a trailing stop loss, but then I will set a stop loss. I'll take a take profit order. I don't ever use these in these breakouts, because with these plays, if there's billions of volume, I just want to minimize my loss, or basically take profits when basically the price comes down. I want to continue to raise my stop loss, so I'll put the take profit at like $50, say, or something like that, something that it's not going to hit, and then I'll continuously raise my stop loss. So if it's, say this one spikes up 100%, or say it's trading at 10 cents, spikes up to 50 cents, I'll basically put my stop loss at 40 or 35 cents. So I know that if it comes back down, obviously it's automatically going to sell for me, and I'll secure my profits. If it ran to $1, obviously I'm going to raise my stop loss, basically to 80 or 90 cents, or, something where it's obviously going to take my profits. But if this one did have a gamma squeeze and the volume's there, I'm reading the chart and I think that it can continue to gap up, obviously I'm going to stay in the play. So basically when you're playing these breakouts, the volume's there, you're watching the chart and you think this one has a massive, there's a massive upside potential, you want to leave 10% room. So basically if it comes back down, you always have a stop loss. That's basically, you're using your stop loss as a take profit order. Comes down, okay, you're out, but you want to leave, you don't want to have a tight stop loss in these breakout, when there's high amounts of volume continuously pouring in, because you could still secure another 50 to 100% if you think that breakout potential is there. And then if it comes back down, like I said, you're obviously out of the play, don't have to worry about it. Normally in these plays, you want to have a very tight stop loss and minimize your losses. But like I said, if it gaps up, that's how I play these. Only in that certain setting will I leave that big 10% gap for a stop loss, because I see the breakout potential and volume continuing to pour in. But guys, you have to be very cautious in pre-market and in extended hours, as stop loss orders do not work. So basically they only work from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern, at least in my area. Before you even get in a play, you should realize or think of how much you're willing to lose. So you could have a very tight stop loss on your first entry, and basically just depending on the play, if it basically gaps up really fast, you're already in the green, 30-50%. This is the method you would then want to use. Just depends, everyone likes to play these different. These are just when you have these breakout squeeze worthy plays. So guys, like the video, put notifications on, everything like that. Let me know in the comments what you think about these two plays. Will they squeeze this week, and any other plays you would like me to cover, and I will see you on the next video.